1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. Several government institutions that are running at a loss are planning to provide bonus payments to its employees by April. Political intellectuals point out that Vimal Weerawansa and Udaya Gammanpila have contributed to create hatred and disunity among nations during the past 4 decades. Parliamentarian Ranil Wickremesinghe says that a national consensus is needed to solve the present economic crisis in the country. Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia visits the island. Foreign news, the US says China will have to face consequences if it helps Russia. News in detail now. It has been reported that a bonus payment will be provided in April to the government institutions which are running at a loss. The Petroleum Corporation has agreed to provide a bonus payment valued at 530 million rupees at the end of this month. Although the corporation had increased the fuel prices, more money has been allocated to pay the salaries of the employees. The Water Supply and Drainage Board has also decided to provide bonus and to increase the salaries of its employees. The intellectuals have pointed out that Vimal Weerawansa and Udaya Gammanpila has made great contribution to create hatred and disunity among nations during the past 4 decades. They have expressed anti-democratic and anti-human ideologies. They also stated that these two former ministers of the Podujana Peramuna always tried to manage the government as their own. When they could not fulfill their aspirations, they spoke bad of the heads of the parties. When observing their history in the recent past, both of them can be held responsible for the present situation in the country. They have been accused in courts for many malpractices. Reports have also been revealed in the past period how Vimal Weerawansa has given government houses to their families and relatives. Corruption-related cases have also been revealed regarding the passport and the national identity of his wife. There's a case in courts about it. Gammanpila has also faced wealth-related case on cheating from a foreigner in the past period. It is also noted that he does not have the right to speak on others or activities or malpractices. In the future, they will try to handcuff the opposition or other parties. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get extra 10 rupees for every dollar and receive a refund of transaction fees up to rupees 1,000 when depositing funds to a rupee account from People's Bank.
The leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, says that Sri Lanka's political parties must work on building a national consensus to seek a permanent solution for the present economic crisis in the country. But the need of the hour is not changing governments or forming a national government. Sri Lanka is currently going through one of the worst financial crises in the country's history, with dwindling foreign exchange reserves severely impacting essential imports. The people are disappointed with political parties. He said politicians should be responsible for it. An installment of $1 billion has to be paid by July. He said the amount of country's foreign debt is at $50 billion. Mr. Wickremesinghe also stated that majority of the debt should be paid before the year 2029. Speaking at a UNP event in Colombo yesterday, Wickremesinghe said all parties that represent Parliament must agree on an ironclad economic framework to help the country out of its present crisis. He added that the opposition can remain in the opposition and government members can remain in the government, but they must all arrive at a national agreement on solving this problem, an agreement that's valid not just for 1 year, but for 15 or 20 years. Saudi Arabia's Minister of Foreign Affairs Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud arrived in Sri Lanka yesterday. The visit is the first official visit on a bilateral level by the Saudi Minister of Foreign Affairs. He was received by the Minister of Justice Ali Sabri at the Katunayake International Airport. He is scheduled to pay courtesy calls on the President and the Prime Minister. The Foreign Minister of the oil-rich nation is scheduled to leave for Nepal later today, following the conclusion of his visit. Necessary measures have been taken on the revision of bus fares. 20 rupees have been proposed as the minimum bus fare. It is expected to increase the bus fares between 13 and 15%. The Minister of Transport said that the final decision in this regard will be taken at the Cabinet meeting. And that ends local news for now.
Get extra 10 rupees for every dollar and receive a refund of transaction fees up to rupees 1,000 when depositing funds to a rupee account from People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Commissioner General of Examination says that those who wish to apply for the recorrection of 2021 Grade 5 scholarship exam answer scripts could do so before the 31st of this month. The results of the 2021 Grade 5 scholarship examination was released online last night and can be viewed by visiting the official website of the Examinations Department. That's www.donets.lk or the website www.results.exam.gov.lk. Meanwhile, the Department of Examinations has revealed the cut-off marks of the scholarship examination for each district. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
Lanka School Van Operators Association has requested its members to reach an agreement with the parents if they increase school van fees. They said that the association cannot ask for specific charges for school vans. An agreement on a fare could be reached after having discussions with the parents. And that was Watchlight.
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
No matter what anyone says, for your lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, friendly leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines. The US says China will face consequences if it helps Russia. Iran launches missiles at northern Iraqi city. More than 2,100 civilians killed in Mariupol. World News in detail now. The US says China will face harsh consequences if it aids Russia in its invasion of Ukraine, according to US media reports. Unnamed officials reportedly told multiple US news outlets that Russia asked China to provide military assistance after it began the invasion. The Chinese embassy in Washington said it wasn't aware of this request. The warning comes ahead of a meeting in Rome on Monday between top US and China officials. Since the start of the crisis, Beijing has expressed strong rhetorical support for a long time ally Moscow, but is not publicly known to have provided any military or economic support. Iran's Revolutionary Guards Force says it targeted an Israeli strategic center with missiles that struck the Iraqi Kurdish city of Erbil overnight. 12 missiles hit areas around the U.S. consulate overnight, causing material damage and wounding one civilian, the Kurdish regional government said. The U.S. said no Americans were hurt and that its facilities were not damaged in what it called the outrageous attack. Israel's military and government declined to comment on Iran's claim. Civilian deaths have been rising in Ukraine. The Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights said the armed conflict had claimed the lives of at least 596 civilians in Ukraine as of Saturday. 43 children were reportedly among the victims. The office said many of those people were killed by shells, missile attacks and airstrikes. Ukraine's parliament posted a message on social media on Sunday. It stated in the post that a humanitarian catastrophe is taking place in the besieged southeastern port city of Mariupol. Back to the headlines of the world news. The US says China will face consequences if it helps Russia. Iran launches missiles at northern Iraqi city. More than 2,100 civilians killed in Mariupol. And that ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
For your wheel lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, friendly leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
The Milko Institute has begun a grass cultivation project in a land of 2,000 acres. The project is being initiated considering difficulties faced by the farmers who are engaged in the livestock industry in the dry zone. The first program of the project was implemented in Migoda and Batavala areas. The institute is expecting a considerable grass harvest within 90 days, and that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
250 athletes of France have arrived in the island at dawn today to participate in the 20th Reid Emerson Sports Tournament, which is being held in the country. The tournament could not be conducted for 2 years due to the COVID pandemic. Around 600 athletes from France is participating in the tournament. The tournament will be conducted under 2 stages in the historic Sigiriya area. And that was Sports News.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka Trading Institute is providing advice to strengthen self-employment opportunities and home-related industries. Recently, a workshop on trading in marketing was conducted by the institute successfully. The objective of this move is to empower self-employed and small-scale entrepreneurs. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic News, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
There is a slight decrease in the prices of gold in the market. An ounce of gold is trading at $1,980. An ounce of gold was sold at $1,988 yesterday. The price of a kilo of gold has been increased by 100 rupees in India today. India is the second largest country that imports gold after China. India has spent $15 billion for the importation of gold last month. And that was Economic News.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Weather Report.
The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle, Mathura, Nuwara districts after 2 p.m. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. And that was the weather report. And to conclude, the headlines once again. Several government institutions that are running at a loss are planning to provide bonus payments to its employees by April. Political intellectuals point out that Vimal Weerawansa and Udaya Gammanpila have contributed to create hatred and disunity among nations during the past 4 decades. Parliamentarian Ranil Wickremesinghe says that a national consensus is needed to solve the present economic crisis in the country. Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia visits the island. In foreign news, the US says China will have to face consequences if it helps Russia. And with that, we end this news broadcast.